Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I am making another sculpture that I am calling the Claaaaw. I am a huge horror movie fan, and this build is kind of inspired by that genre of movies. So let's do it! It doesn't make any sense. I build everything right here, so I'm just gonna stay here.
Starting out this build, I'm using a 1-inch plate as my base. I wanted something pretty hefty because I planned on making this pretty big, so I didn't want it to easily tip over. Tried tacking on the first piece, but I just tore it off because I got my angle wrong. I'm using 1-inch and 1/2-inch rebar with 2-inch nuts for the wrist and start of the hand. With the base ready to go, I wanted to figure out the sizing for the thumb and how I wanted that to sit. I'm using the 1-inch rebar with 1-inch ball bearings for the knuckles of it. I wasn't quite sure, like all my projects, I didn't really think too far ahead on how it was all going to work, but figured I'd start with the thumb and then base all the rest of my sizing for the actual fingers off of that. I'm using a 3/4 inch ball bearing and 3/8 rebar for the last knuckle of the fingers. With the thumb figured out, I did the math and scaled up based off of my hand of what the length of each individual piece had to be for the fingers. With all the pieces cut up, it was time to start assembling all of my digits. So I measured everything out and lined them all up in order, but right here you can see I grabbed the wrong piece to finish off this finger. But honestly it didn't bother me much because after I get it all done, I actually think I like the look of it better. And really, I'm sure there's someone out there who has a weirdly long pinky finger. With all of them welded, I moved on to polishing them all up. I'm actually gonna grind down the welds with my band file on all of them to try and smooth it out and kind of shape and form the knuckles. With the knuckles all polished up, I moved on to rounding off the edge with my grinder a little bit. I'm going to do this to all of them, but since I showed you this one, I won't make you sit through doing the rest of them.
Hey, do you have a beard or tattoos? Because if you do, I got something you got to try. Kindred Beard and Tattoo Oil. I really enjoy that it's all natural ingredients and makes my beard feel soft. And a portion of every bottle sold goes to men's mental health support, which we all could use some help sometimes. So go to Feronis.com, check that link below, use my code GIANT till the end of June to save yourself 10% on every order. So get back to the build.
With all the fingers prepped and done, I moved on to adding the next layer of hand bones, which I'm using these 1-inch nuts, and it actually works out really well because the 1-inch ball bearings I used on the fingers will sit in those nicely so I can easily orientate the fingers the way I want. I do really enjoy these kinds of builds because no matter what I do, there's really no wrong answer. So I can just kind of do stuff and really it just kind of works out. With everything tacked up, and I was pretty happy with how it looks, so it was time to get everything welded. I wanted to do the same thing to the palm as I did to the knuckles, so I grabbed my band file and started polishing all of the rough edges on the welds. I didn't want to go overboard and polish it completely smooth. I wanted to leave it a little rough just to give it that character. When the band file no longer fit, I pulled out the die grinder to get to those hard to reach areas. With everything all polished up, there was just one last piece that I wanted to put on, and I was struggling to figure out what I wanted to do to finish this project. So I was brainstorming with a buddy, and I I gotta give him the props for this. He said, "Why not use nails for the actual nails?" It seemed way too easy, so I just had to do it. So thank you, Matt, for the wonderful idea. When I got them all tacked on, I grabbed the wire wheel to polish them up a little bit. Then I'll pull the die grinder back out just to shave down where I put the tacks just to hide them a little bit. With all that taken care of, that wraps up this build.
So that's claw build. Thanks for coming to check it out. That's all I got for you. So see you in the next one. Wait! Check out this B-roll.